All right. Good evening, viewers, and welcome to once again. This is Africa 24, and I am Muzalendo. And tonight we are talking about something many men go through, but very few talk about men's mental health. Because the truth is, many men are not okay, but they have mastered the art of pretending that we are okay and we are not okay. Yeah, he goes to work. I go to work every day, provides for the family, laughs with the friends out there, but inside is tired mentally, emotionally, and silently breaking down. Now, I have a guest tonight, and I'm going to introduce my brother who understands this conversation deeply more than I do. Brother Themba, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mzalendo, for having me. I've, uh, I like the introduction. And indeed, like you have said, I've been in the mental health space for a long time and still am. Um, uh, I, I speak so much for having a mentally healthy society and much more for the men. Uh, because if your mental health is not well, then you find all your other faculties will be affected. So, and for us as basically the Black community and
Mhm.
generally African community, it behoves us to talk about it. You know, if we don't talk about it, we don't speak up, there's a lot that is going on.
Mhm.
The social norms that have been created uh, sometimes downplaying the symptoms of mental health, or even not seeing when it is actually the effects of mental health that are affecting our other areas, like even the social interactions, um, how we achieve even some of the goals that we have set, how they
Mhm.
are affected in the family generally. All this put together um, has like a spiral effect in most of the other things that we do, but it's a conversation we are not having.
Mhm.
So having this conversation is very significant, not just for us as individuals,
Mhm.
but for the society and for the community that we get involved in. So I really appreciate you inviting me to this platform and also choosing to have this conversation as part of your core mandates in terms of helping the society. And
Yeah.
when you create that conversation and when you have this platform, I'm sure that even a drop in the ocean will be more significant than nothing at all.
All right, Themba. Thank you for that. I mean, and thank you very much for availing time. I know you have got a very, very busy schedule, and apologize Sana for your loss. I know you are going through a lot, and thank you for just availing time today on a short notice. Now, Themba, let's start here. Why do men really struggle to talk about their mental health? Is it that is it culture? Is it pride or fear of being judged by their peers?
uh, I like the question, Zalendo. We are socialized,
Hmm.
especially as African men. We are socialized to not talk about our weaknesses. You know, it's considered a weakness to talk about probably a challenge you're having. Let's
Yes.
say, for example, you're having a financial struggle. The
Mm.
society, in most cases, has socialized us to remain strong. You're told as a man, you need to remain strong. You need to always come back home and show that you have something. And we have normalized that even in the training and the conversations we are having. Many are the times that you see even the popular talk people who talk populist who are talking, they say that as a man you need to be prepared to have the woman in your life. You know,
Hmm.
as a man, a lady should not go to a man who is struggling. You know, you have to show up as a man. You need to do certain things. So you see, even the conversations we're having, they're already preparing you for mental health struggles. Because if the lady is being told that she has to come to a man who is prepared to have her, that means
Mm,
therefore the man has to be prepared. Now, if the man is showing a level of weakness, it means that that man is not ready. And so,
mhm,
what happens to that man when they show up to a particular relationship? The man is going to appear and act strong. And the man is not going to say when they're having a struggle. So, the society, as they say in social psychology, that the society creates its deviance. Whatever
mm,
it is that is accommodated within the society exists. In this case, if it is creating this kind of a situation where the man who is going through weakness is not accommodated, then the man is going to be struggling in silence. So yes, the society is creating that. The conversation, the narrative that we are, propelling, the
mm,
narrative that a man has to always be strong. I
mm,
cannot share with you when I'm going through a struggle. I'll
mm,
rather suffer in silence. I'll rather not speak. There are more safe spaces for women to talk about their struggles than there are safe spaces for men to talk about their struggles. The society has accommodated a woman who is weak. Even when you watch news, when it
mhm,
is something about a man, it's
mhm,
hard for people to coalesce around it. But when it is something about a woman, more people will be saying that how can you do that to a woman? If it is
mm,
a man being abused or beaten, people are likely to watch you being beaten than it is the other day say you cannot beat a woman like that. So the man is basically being taken back to a point where he has to be more silent than he's supposed to be. So this has created a situation where we have men who are going through struggles, but they can't speak because the society has trained them to be silent. That is part of it. The socialization, um, the society creating that, the fear of being judged or even being told that you're weak, the idea that I need to be macho, I need to always look like I'm strong, makes the man not speak out. Um, Availability of other methods that are more secretive. For example, you are likely to find a man being, taking, redirecting the energy of struggle into alcohol, or maybe redirecting that energy of struggle into more work. So maybe they'll be spending more time at work. They'll be giving extra time into other things, maybe other more socially acceptable ways to deal with that issue than speaking it out. So if you're having struggles at home, you'll be spending more time at work. If you're having struggle at home, probably you'll be giving more time to that game or that thing that you're doing. So for us, we are thinking you love that thing too much, yet inside of you, there's something you're struggling with. You're trying to run away from something else. You are muted. You are muted.
Themba, thank you for your understanding of the issues that men go through. But more importantly, the stigma, the reasons why they don't have want to open up to their friends, and you're saying that they will be judged, by society, whether something at home is really going wrong. But let us go to what really makes a man uh, a struggle to tell his friends that, hey, kule nyumbani I'm really suffering. Yeah, maybe what causes this mental challenges, and what mental illness. Some people in society think that it is somebody just waking up one day and picking up garbage and things like that. Amekuwa wazima, wanatoa nguo and things like that. What I mean, if this is a normal person going through work, through his normal chores each and every day, and then deep down mentally is drained completely. Some of them are even contemplating committing suicide, and this is just caused by the environment that they live in, maybe in the house. I mean, how can this person get help? What is the remedy for this kind of challenge?
Yeah. So since I'm aware that this is a conversation we are starting today, and we're going to be having it. Uh, Much of those questions that we are going to be answering as we'll be going through.
Mhm.
But yes, I want to get back to your question about stigma
Mhm.
around masculinity.
Mhm.
Uh, for example, when you were growing up, some people have called it toxic masculinity. You know, where you've been told that there are certain things that it costs you to be a man. Now, Zalendo, one of the things that you find that there's a generation of men, they grew up being socialized
Mhm.
that as a man you should not be able to show weakness or any level of emotions.
Mhm.
So you're being a man meant that your emotions ought not to be seen at
Mhm.
any point. So like it is not right for a man to cry, you know. It's
Mhm.
not right for a man in any place for us to see that that in the moment when there's a crisis and everybody else is dealing with certain issues, as a
Mhm.
man you need to show some level of control, you know. And that was misinterpreted to mean that you should not be in touch with your weakness. You should not be in touch with the areas that you're struggling.
Mhm.
And it's easier for the opposite sex, that is the women, to have an opportunity to share. You know, if you go to most places where emotions are being shared, you're likely to find them more accommodative to women, not men. And you hear statements like when you try, you know, showing your emotions, you hear statements basically for probably our listeners, maybe coming from Kenya, you
Mhm.
hear the wacha umama. Where umama means
Wacha umama. That one is a good one. Wacha umama. Oh, mama means
yeah,
that you
yeah,
suddenly become a woman. Mm?
yeah,
You need to
you're
be
best,
strong.
yeah.
Mm?
You need, yeah, you need to be strong. You're showing weakness a lot, yeah.
Mm?
So then uh, be like a man. Be like a man means what?
Mm?
Means you uko na uvumilivu, kaa kama mwanaume. You know, like mwanaume was supposed to be less emotions, more
Mm.
aggressive. So their attributes actually later you hardly find them in men. And even the society and the media has made it kind of as reinforced it. I want to remind you, maybe there was a time, if you're a lady and you show some firmness and a
Mm.
certain sense of assertiveness, they want
Mm.
to equate you to a man.
Yeah.
So you
Or some
remember,
masculinity. Mm?
yeah, you remember there was a time, I think, especially in the political stance, there was a time that they said that Martha Karua was the only man standing during Kibaki's time,
Mm-hmm.
meaning that she was having certain attributes that they want to attribute only to a man. Now, those are some of the nuances that have that the society has placed on the man. That firmness, lack of emotion, aggressiveness is what makes a man. Now, what has
All
that
right.
done to the man of today? You will go through issues in your life, but you want to hold them like a man. You will probably go through, maybe you've been fired. You want to hold it like a man. You're going through financial struggles, you're going through some emotional struggles, but you want to show them like a man. Because you don't want to be told that you are weak, uko na umama. See?
Mm,
So the stigma, both from outside and even self-stigma, even, there's a time that you also stigmatize yourself. You say
mm,
that, how will people see me? How will Mzalendo see me if I shared with him that I'm having certain either financial struggles or either
mm,
I've been fired? To the extent that there are people who actually have job changes or maybe they separate from their jobs, but they cannot share it because they are likely to be frowned upon by maybe those who care about them or even their friends. And you
mm,
had the popular, there was a time one guy said that some people could not talk to him because he was no longer a man because of the status. And you see, the men have that kind of status. Just
mm,
because you're doing certain thing, they put you at a certain status. So
mhm.
when that changes for a man, it really creates a lot. And some of the men find, you find your status in certain things, probably in places you're working.
Alcohol, work
Yeah,
in a
yeah,
bar,
workplace
something like
where you stay. So when you have to change that, it becomes a problem to you. So it explains some of the issues that you're finding a lot more in men. And then, of course, the society creating that for a man, you are the one to be prepared to even bring the woman to your life. So women come to you because of a certain status, and some of the things are status symbols. Maybe the car you're driving, how you
mhm.
dress, where you stay. So if you have to change those things, then probably it lowers your status and you're likely to lose some of the benefits that you are getting from that position. Now, when that happens, it causes you some mental issues. And
Yeah,
yeah,
I think we have had this conversation
yes,
with one of my colleagues, and
yes, sir.
she's a lady. So each and every time I bring up this conversation, that women, like she likes bringing the conversation of the Bible, where in the Garden of Eden, uh, Adam Adam did not act like a man. Yeah, when he was offered the fruit by Eve, he ought to have refused as a man. So most women, they feel that we need to be the man in the house, not only when it comes to bills, but when it comes to other things. They look upon you as the man in the house. You need to control them. Some women think like that, and it goes all the way to even finances. Like a woman, when they want to get married, just as you said, they want to get married to stability, a man with a stable income. And she tells me, uh, she cannot get married to a man who is struggling. Like, so what are we saying? So what are we saying here? So many men are under pressure to provide, to succeed, to be strong, and never to break down. And once they break down, then the problem starts. So my question is, what kind of pressure do you think is affecting the men the most today? The men the most. What kind of pressure? Ile sisi tunapitia every other day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that the example you are giving is very, very, very familiar, and it's very spot on because you find there's that pressure to meet or to fit into a certain narrative that has been created. And those are, like I said, if you remember, I said society creates its own deviance. If you have created a narrative and you want to move by it, then you are likely to find people who will fall off out of that narrative. And it's the same narrative you're saying. We are saying that you want to marry someone who is stable financially. Ideally, uh, stability financially is a process, right? And it takes a lot of other parameters. The economics of of that particular time. It might not favor is most of the narratives that we are holding, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is possible, therefore, that particular scenario is going to create a lot more people who are struggling mentally, and probably it might explain why some of the men that we think should be married are not married. Because of the narrative you're looking for. When you give statistics about the availability of jobs, we say there are as many unavailable job opportunities. Then when we are talking about the economy not working well, then we are saying that the economy is not good. But then again, we later come and say you can only marry men who are financially stable in an economy that is not working well. So you see, we are creating a narrative that is still defeating us at the end of the day. That we want you to be economically stable in an economy that is not working well. That we still have people. You see how the narrative is not consistent with what is even being reported geopolitically and across board. So you have a demand for something that you know is non-existent, and yet the man is still told to step up. You have to step up as a man, and you have to provide for that lady. Yet we still have more programs that are more favorable to bring up the ladies, the girl child. So more programs are available that empower the girl child, and less programs are available to empower the boy child. But yet again, we are telling the girl child that when you get here, you must get a man that is economically stable. So we are a society that has actually we are not consistent, one, and secondly, we we want to push a narrative that is defeatist by at the end of the day. But is that to say that a man ought not to work hard? No, all of us across board ought to focus and work hard. But again, we need to look at the other effect, social pressures. You asked about the pressures that the man is facing. There's the social pressure. There's the financial pressure. When you get home, you get out of the home and you have to come back home. There's a desire that you have to bring something home. So if you get home and the business did not work, you wonder what you're going to bring back home. You know, so there's that financial pressure that is also coming in. There's emotional pressure. You know, you're not supposed to speak. To speak up. There's no safe space for the man to speak, and even when there's a space to speak, it is not as accommodative as you'd have wanted to. So it brings a lot of there's a lot of contradictions in if you speak, we are saying wacha umama, but now we still want you to speak. There's no safe space for you to speak as a man. So I'm seeing a situation where if the research as it is showing right now, more men are going through issues of depression because there's a lot of pressure to deliver, but less opportunities to do so. There's a lot of emotional pressure, financial pressure. There's also less avenues for you to let up, and less areas for you to be able to be accommodated in terms of what you want to explore as a man. So those are some of the pressures that I think are really pushing the man to the corner today. And the political situation is also not making the man any better. So if we can have a discourse around all those areas and try to explore how then do we help the man who is being faced with those situations.
All right. Now, I think you answered my next question, because I wanted to ask you: have you personally seen or experienced moments where a man was clearly or was clearly struggling but couldn't even speak out? I mean, the incidents are many, and the incidents are many back at home. If you're watching us right now, be honest. Be honest. Leave a comment there, and if you've not subscribed to Afrique 24, please do so. this conversation will continue each and every time. For the men, we have to be out here looking out for the men who are struggling mentally. I remember when Themba, when I was about in my early 30s, yeah, I used to see other men walk, we call it walk, talk while walking. Does it have a name for it, an English word for it? Talk while walking, not sleepwalking, but walking while talking.
Mhm.
Hmm? Talking
Yeah.
about to themselves, making
Yeah.
signs, walking, unajiongelesha mpaka unapiga mahesabu huko. Then I was like, ai, sasa huyu ni best yangu bana, mbona anaongea hivi peke yake? Yeah, this is madness. Yani, how can
Mm.
somebody start talking to himself, until it happened to me at some point. You're finding yourself on the road, and you are talking to yourself, answering questions to imaginary conversations with yourself. And then
Mm.
you realize that you are in a position, you are kind of stressed out, but the confusion is being broke a mental illness.
Yeah.
Kama
Yeah.
una pressure, is it a mental illness?
Yeah.
Being huh?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. You see, that's a good question. You see, to many people, money is a means to many things. You know, to a man, uh, money is means a lot. It means acceptance. Like if you're your family, you have to take food, so you can afford. It means affordability. You'll be able to afford stuff when you have the cash. And to some people, money means that you have access to even sometimes love. There are people who will love you because you have money. You have it means money means opportunity. You'll have an opportunity to enter certain places that you're not able to enter. And to
mm,
some, money means status. You know, you'll be treated depending with how much money you're putting. What you've had that thing of what are you bringing on the table?
yeah, what unaleta nini? What are you bringing on the table?
Yeah,
Huh?
what are you bringing on the table? Unfortunately, or fortunately, should I say, based on how you look at it, it is the standard for many. Some of them, some of relationships are based on that, based on what you're bringing on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And like you've had even for men, it becomes very very tough because you realize even some of the relationships have fallen because probably someone else is bringing more on the table than you
Mm-hmm.
are bringing on the table. And some people, you've seen some relationships getting very 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 bad, like a case where we that is featuring for the past few days, where a man probably is saying that it's alleged that he had used a lot of his money in a relationship. And
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yes.
because he felt he had invested a lot in that relationship, he took the drastic measure to try and avenge. I mean, it's alleged. So you see, for some it was tied to access to a relationship. So
Mm,
money, like you're saying, for a man in some situations has been access, opportunity, status. So it means lack of it means that you're lacking status. In some situations wanaanza kuonyesha madharau, unaona
mhm.
kama hauleti chakula
Kama una
nyumbani.
pesa, yeah,
Eh,
unaleta dharau
wewe
mingi sana.
wewe ni wa nini?
Wewe
And so what are
watoto
you
pia unaweza nyang'anywa, watoto pia wanakunyang'anya, they go to another man. Mm.
I mean, you find that some of them watakuonyesha madharau, and to a man, that's already, they say that he who feeds you controls you. So if if someone else is gonna be feeding your lady or
Mm.
your family, then they're likely to control your family. So to a man having the money could have been, status. So he's struggling. You're right about struggling about that thinking. When you think about going back home empty-handed, you can imagine you will speak, utajizungumzia, utajiambia vitu on your way back home.
Yeah, utajiambia vitu, you'll be talking to yourself
Yeah,
as a man.
yeah. So it strips you of your dignity when you are having those financial struggles. It gets you off your status. It denies you access in some situations. Even some marriages, lack of money will deny you access to sex. So you will also be struggling to even access. Some of them will peg it to that. And if you are the one without the money in the family, you are likely not to be given information of what has happened at home. So there's that.
That's so interesting. I think somebody is listening at home. That these are real life situation. If you don't have money, perhaps you are not going even to be added in that WhatsApp group where they are contributing.
Exactly. You'll be the last one to know what is going on. You'll be.
Oh man, I mean that is where you drop the mic. You'll be the last one to to be told kuna kitu imefanyika.
Because they know you won't give anything. There are people who have more words to say than what to give.
Yeah, this is not a laughing matter, but sometimes there are signs are there, but we ignore them. You are being told directly that in or indirectly that you don't have anything, so you don't belong. That is torture. Themba, what those are some of the signs men go through. Those are the signs. Actually, that is one of the signs that you can know that there is something really wrong here. Yeah. Uh, now, when a man with
Zalendo, you'll see that the for the man, when you have money, like in our society, we have equated it so much to having cash is very important. You'll find that if you have money, you'll always be asked, "What has Zalendo said?" Because
yeah,
you see,
what is Pepper saying about
at the end of the day, the saying is actually the doing. It's not so much of the word, because Mzalendo probably is the one who's going to give the money. So we'll be asked, what has Mzalendo said? So if you are saying your word is normally not very significant, it reduces your status, your esteem goes low, and that becomes an effect into your mental health.
that is well put. I mean, this is a situation where somebody will withdraw from the family, not even associate with family members,
Yep,
go
yep,
quiet, and even not
yep.
call family members because of the things that are happening around. Those are the signs of being ignored by family directly that affects mental health situation. That attitude needs to stop, guys. If you're practicing that, ukijua kuna brother yako moja ana kakitu, you don't want to involve them in anything that you're doing, please change that attitude, because the next time probably yeye ndiye atakuwa amebarikiwa na nyinyi wengine, you will be depending on them, and they might remind you. Many men suffer in silence, and sometimes it ends tragically, like the incident of this man who poured acid on the girlfriend after paying so much for her school education. I have seen such incidents, but good men just walk away. Others are broken completely, and they really want to revenge. So why is the silence so dangerous when it comes to mental health?
Which is
Uh,
something also, just to get in there, maybe at some point,
mm,
Mzalendo, maybe as part of our topic, we can discuss uh, when is it that a man should be able to know that a relationship is not a prison? That if I'm with you as a man, it doesn't mean that I must have you. And we have created a situation where men think that because I'm getting involved in certain supportive efforts in a relationship, it means that your mind, that you must not change your mind. You see, now that is also something we need to address in men, because these are men mental health talk, and these are conversations that we'll be having ongoing. How do we reduce issues of abuse, like what happened in a situation where a man thinks that they have invested so much in a relationship, and this lady has no right to change her mind? At what point should you think that, you know, in a relationship, someone needs to have an opportunity to change their mind? Because if you are not changing your mind, means that that's a prison. Is it therefore, are you getting the other person into a prison that they are not able to change their mind anytime? And if they must change their mind, they have to refund the money. How do we manage the relationship so that nobody gets out of it hurt at any one point? And so that you take care of the man in the process, taking care of their mental health, and in the process, not having someone ending either in prison or or in a more in a coffin, or the other way, where you are depressed and stuff like that. So we have to see this conversation moving into addressing all these societal issues as we move on.
Now, good. I mean, we are moving on to to our next segment, whereby we'll be discussing the solutions. Now, we'll be talking about let's talk about the solutions right now, because the conversation must lead us to, a solution to where our men can begin to open up without feeling so weak, without feeling judged. What families and friends can do, what your partner, your wife, can do better to support their husband. So those are the things that we need to talk about. We need to really emphasize on relationships. There are some people who are living in very toxic relationships, and they are hanging on there, but the next thing, it might end up very, very tragic. So let us start opening up without feeling weak. I think, Themba, you can add something on that.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, opening up is one of them. Supportive relationships, like if you have brothers, if you have a boyfriend, if you have a husband, if you have men within you, appreciate that they also go through tough times, and they also want someone to talk to. So if you can provide that, you can be that listening ear, if you can be that person that they can talk to, if you can be that trusted relation, that you can be that someone they can open up to. So not always, just also how we socialize. It's okay for a man to get a position of vulnerability, where you when you're going through a tough time, appreciate you're going through a tough time, take a rest, take a breather, get someone you can talk to, get someone you can share with. We have social cultural ways that can people can find, ways of expressing themselves. You can have community events where you find, where you can share, uh, social groups, safe spaces, if possible, even, seek therapy, wherever you are, talk. Having therapy is not a weakness. It is a way of expressing. It helps you to handle some of the situations before they get worse, before they get to the extreme where you are not able to take care of yourself, or where you will need the medication, or before they get to a point where you take your life by suicide, or you hurt someone. Sometimes we express what the hurt we want by hurting others, so you can either hurt yourself or hurt someone else. So before you reach that point, try to address it by talking. Being a man does not necessarily mean that you don't go through the weak moments, and weak moments don't last. You're just supposed to, embrace it, and find someone to talk to, and move on. Like, navigate the situation through therapy, through talking to other people, through social ways of relaxation, taking time to relax, um, moving away from the situation, Finding ways that are more enjoyable for you, like for example, exercise, you know
Yeah.
um, getting enjoyable hobbies that you can be able to do, taking a walk, not responding immediately to something that has hurt you. You know, like some of these things are they are knee-jerk responses. Someone has hurt you today, you say this is it. Someone relationship has broken, you're imagining the world has ended. So there are those, and we will be exploring many other ways that
Wow.
men can be able to engage in this program as we move on. Yeah.
Perfectly said. And as we wind up this show tonight, I want to thank our viewers for staying tuned. And let me say this: even as men who appear strong on the outside, there are moments we struggle in the inside. And it is okay to struggle. It is very much okay to struggle. To every man watching us tonight, you don't have to carry everything alone. Talk to someone. When was the last time you checked on a brother, on your friend, on your father, on your mother? To talk about stuff that you're going through. Your cousin, somebody who is close. I mean, open up. Don't be shy. Ongea na mtu. Talk to them. And we might have solutions. Your brother might have a solution. Your cousin, your sister, a family member, or even a friend can have a perfect solution. Now, Themba, your closing remarks.
My closing remarks is just as you said. It is okay not to be okay. You don't always have to look strong. You know, you can find someone you can talk to someone. If you have like you've said, if you have a brother, if you have a husband, if you have a man in your life, know that they too go through tough times, and they too need someone to talk to. Can you be that someone they can talk to? And if you're going through a tough time, know that tough times don't last, but tough people last. If you can come out of it, if you can talk to someone, if you can share with someone, it will come to pass. And they say a problem shared is half solved. If you can talk to someone, you have solved it halfway. Let's talk. Let's talk to someone. Let's learn to be the safe space that someone can be able to share with. And if possible, be your brother's keeper. Let's be a brother's keeper. Let's be someone can talk to. And let's not lose more men through this, either depression or suicide, because it is possible for us to stand with each other and to make it better for the man. And so, as we continue this conversation, we'll
Mm.
we'll want to, as much as possible, get feedback from you, so that we continue having this conversation on the areas that we can have um, a solution on. And if you can be able to have a contact of a therapist near you in your area or where you stay in your state, try and get one that can be able to respond to you, and see someone who can talk. Maybe if you have churches, community support, try and get. We'll be trying to get some of the contacts within different places that we can be able to recommend here, maybe for your as resources for you. But try and reach out to the resources within your community. Thank you so much, Mzalendo, for having me.
All right, Gypsy Corner, I can see you on the comment section. You are really giving us a lot of comment. I think you're you're coming late when you're just about to wind up the program, and you're saying hi to Themba. Thank you very much, Gypsy. And yeah, that is good advice. Men go through a lot, and some of us don't even talk about it. So this is a perfect platform. Forget about the men's conference. We can have our virtual conference here on YouTube where we talk about our issue. And thank you, Themba, for coming up with this idea. This is a very, very noble idea. We will carry it through here on Africa. Mental strength is not silence. Strength is speaking. Strength is asking for help. This is Afrique 24, where we speak the truth because your life really matters. I'll be joining you later with a political talk show that to analyze what really happened throughout the week. Otherwise, thank you for those who have joined late, like Gypsy Corner. Asante Sana for being part of the Afrique family, and we hope that such contact will help somebody out there make the right decision. Asante ni sana and tuonane pale kwa studio.